A veteran politician and elder statesman has died. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Thanks for joining us tonight. Former Progressive Liberal Party Cabinet Minister and Member of Parliament for Baines and Grantstown, Dr. Bernard Nottage, has died. Our Chris Saunders joins us live in studio with the details.
Alto, thanks a lot. Now, we can confirm that former Progressive Liberal Party Cabinet Minister and former Member of Parliament for Baines and Grantstown, Dr. Bernard Nottage, has died. The family issued a statement late this evening, just a few hours ago, probably within about an hour and a half ago, and they said it is with great sadness that they announce his death. The former politician served as Minister of National Security and MP for Baines and Grantstown for many years. He was taken to hospital last week, where it was said that he was gravely ill at that time. At that point, he was airlifted to the United States late last week for additional medical care. According to the PLP information, Dr. Bernard Nottage received his training as a gynecologist at the University of Aberdeen, Scotland, and the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists in last century. An outstanding athlete in track and field, he competed at the Carifta level many times. Dr. Nottage was also a longtime president of the then Bahamas Amateur Athletics Association, now B3As. Dr. Nottage served in the cabinet of the late Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinlan and was also co-deputy leader of the Progressive Liberal Party. Dr. Nottage was elected CEO of the Coalition for Democratic Reform from February 2000 before returning to the PLP in 2005. And if you remember, in 1998 to 2006, he served as chairman of the Center for Positive Change. In November 2005, he was appointed to the Senate, and on February 21st, 2006, he was appointed Minister of Health and National Insurance in the cabinet of the Right Honorable Perry Christie. The Nottage family, when they announced the passing of Dr. Nottage today, they called him a husband, dad, papa, brother, uncle, godfather, friend, and a Bahamian nationalist. The Honorable Dr. Bernard J.P. Nottage, as he was fully wanted to be known as. They wanted to express their sincere thanks to everyone who has reached out, including the management staff and physicians of Doctors Hospital and the Cleveland Clinic in the United States for their professional care rendered to their husband, friend, brother, and papa. They also said that they wanted to thank everyone for their prayers, support, and words of encouragement during this very difficult time, and in their words, may his soul rest in peace. Now, we are still in the developing stage of this story, but again, one thing that we can tell you, he was a former cabinet minister, and so that decision on if he will be granted a state funeral will rest with the cabinet, the government, and of course, a discussion with the family. Again, very early on to really decide on what's going to happen with that. We can only remember one cabinet minister who died while in office, and that was Chuck Virgil back in the 90s, and presumably is the only one that we can have on record. Also, the most senior person to have died while in office was the Governor General, Sir Gerald Cash, as well. But again, the policy generally is that it will be a state funeral, but again, this is going to be left up to not only the Nottage family, but the government of the Bahamas to decide what will happen to again. But again, ZNS News can confirm that former PLP cabinet minister and former member of parliament for Baines and Grantstown, Dr. Bernard Nottage, has died. We will be following this story throughout the night and tomorrow as it develops. Live in the studio, Chris Saunders, ZNS Network News.